folks, and welcome back to the adventures of Turwinkle, the Gnome Mage. Well, hi, Turwinkle.
Salutations.
Are you all set for today?
Indubitably.
Well, great, because today we are in Darnassus, as you can see, and we are going to go talk with Sharung of the Order of Kaldorei here on Emerald Dream. And so with that, let us go and talk with Sharung about his RP and find out what he is all about. Well, here he is, folks, Sharung, Shandu of the Order of Kaldorei. He's a level 90 Pandaren monk. Hello, sir.
Hey, what's up, little dude?
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We've had so many folks ask about Sharung after the wonderful spring festival that was done by the Order of Kaldorei, and we had the opportunity to spend a little time with you at the couple of the events, the fishing tournament and at the cook-off. So we've come and we're going to find out more about Sharung and find out what he's all about here tonight. Alrighty, folks, and we are back. And so, Sharung, the first thing we always ask in these interviews is how you came up with the name. How did you come up with the name Sharung?
Yeah, so originally the character, I did a lot of roleplay in Warcraft 3, and when I came to WoW, I didn't really do much. I did a little bit on Worm Arrest Accord, but eventually when MoP rolled around, I really wanted to play Pandaren, because that's what I roleplayed in Warcraft 3. So I sort of brought the idea, or the same character that I had in Warcraft 3, and I used the random name generator and just changed the letter, but that's pretty much the story of Sharung.
Okay. And so what interests you in the pandas? Why did you choose Pandaren?
I just think, like, there's such a unique race. Like, you look in all the other fantasy games, you see orcs, undead, goblins. Basically, like, the two races that really interest me in Warcraft are the Tauren and the Pandaren is so unique when compared to all the other fantasy races.
Right, and there's certainly a lot to be said for the Pandaren race. Now, do you enjoy kind of the Eastern philosophy of the race, or is it just because of the uniqueness?
I think it's sort of like never really been a fan of like Eastern stuff, but I think that their whole idea of sort of peace and harmony sort of drew myself towards it.
Okay, well, awesome. Yeah, because again, they're so intertwined with that, and I think it's hard to not really grow to either like or appreciate the Eastern philosophies that they portray in the game. But you certainly gain a respect for it at the very least.
Yeah.
All right, and so now you obviously chose the panda because again it's something that you thought was unique and really wanted to do. Now, did you already have a RP concept in mind when you started him, or has it kind of grown as you've gone along?
Originally, like I said, he's a character from Warcraft 3 that I roleplayed a lot. The character that I had was sort of a traveling magician. Since it was before Pandaren was released, we didn't really know like what the Pandaren were, but they had in Warcraft 3 there's originally, I think it was an April Fool's joke, but they had a brewmaster, and that's who he was. And obviously his main story is go around and collect brews, which I still have in his MRP. It's not as important, it's not like the main driving force, but it's something like the sort of connection between the past character I had in Warcraft 3 and the one that I have in World of Warcraft right now.
Oh, okay, so you already had a concept of Sharung before you made the character then?
Yep.
All right, well, excellent. And so, folks, when we come back, we'll find out what that is, and we'll kind of get into Sharung's history a little bit. So we'll be right back. All right, and so Sharung, what is your history? What is Sharung about?
Sharung is all about learning about people's past, learning about the past of the world, and sometimes even the future, but mainly through archaeology and through telling stories, learning what other people have to say. Sort of, what his main RP is about is sort of following around different guilds, sort of figuring out what they're all about, so he can record it in his books and report back to his order in Pandaria.
Oh, okay, so he was sent by which order?
The Lore Walkers.
Oh, okay, so he became part of the Lore Walkers then?
Yeah, so when Sharung was a child, he was being trained as a monk, but during training he always snuck away into the Temple of Jade Sermon, started sneaking into libraries, and one of the lore walkers named Ten Chin Tiao sort of caught on to that, and he asked if he'd, when he's older, if he'd like be trained to be a member of the lore walkers.
Okay, so his basic RP then, as he goes out and he gathers knowledge then?
Yeah, pretty much. A lot through archaeology and through telling stories.
Oh, well, awesome. And so how did he find his way into the Order of the Kaldorei?
It's kind of funny. So at the time, I was getting really, really bored with the game. I wasn't in the guild or anything. I was just flying around trying to find RP, and it's pretty much my last hope. I came across, I can't remember, it was a couple of people in the guild who were role-playing, and I thought it was pretty cool. I thought what they're doing is pretty fun, so through a couple of weeks, I just tagged around their RPs, and eventually let me join their guild.
Oh, well, awesome. It's always nice to find a guild where you're able to expand your RP or keep it going, even in this case. So, all right, so Sharung was trained as a lore walker. When was he sent out from the temple?
Is during the time the mists were lifted. When all the other races came to Pandaria, he's really interested because it's all this new knowledge, all these new lessons that he can learn. He really wanted to sort of do what no lore walker has ever done before, and that is learn about the other races of Azeroth.
Oh, wonderful. And how has he found his journey so far?
It's all right. There's a lot of fighting, and Sean's a pretty big pacifist, but he gets around. He knows how to pick up a staff and hit somebody.
Well, wonderful. And so, folks, when we come back, we are going to find out about Sharung's RP style and see how it is that he likes to RP. And so we will be right back with that. Alrighty, Sharung. So, what would you consider your RP style to be? Are you a multi-paragrapher? Are you really a short RPer? Do you like to emote a lot? What's your style?
I think it sort of depends on the situation, because as you know, Sharung's sort of a storyteller, and it's kind of hard to tell a story through one-word responses. So a lot of times you'll see Sharung just type out a huge paragraph, and other times when he's just talking to somebody, it'll just be like a sentence or two. But I never really RP through emotes. It's usually just through say.
Oh, okay. And so you tend to match those that you're RPing with. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if I see someone's at the beginning of therapy, I'm not going to go through all these advanced methods. I'll just do something like really simple, like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" and it's really short responses.
Sure. Now, how did you get started RPing in WoW?
One of my same friends introduced me to Warcraft 3 RP. Played on Wormrest Record. And I played WoW 2 at the time, but I never really knew that. Or played me over to Wormrest Record. I can't remember the guild. I think it was Silver Hand Knights or something like that. But I wasn't really too invested into it. I'd maybe come to one or two events a week. Then I think being a MOP is when really I got into RP. I can't remember why. I really, really want RP, so I just went in. That's pretty much all I do in this game now. I don't really do raids. I don't do PvP much. It's just all RP.
In fact, we did kind of steal you from a raided battlegrounds tonight, didn't we?
Hey, I didn't want to go anyways. Shh, don't tell Bale.
Okay, that'll be our secret, sir. So, when you started RP in WoW, was it hard for you to get into? Have you RP'd in any other game beforehand, or?
I didn't know what the concept of RP was, but I usually RP in Warcraft 3, and those it's sort of like if anyone's ever played Warcraft 3, it's sort of the way RPing is a custom game. It's sort of like Dungeons and Dragons, but everyone's their own dungeon master, so you can make like a huge city if you want, or you can have like one little character run around. But that was completely different WoW, because you have all these different characters, you have all these different personalities for, and in WoW it's just like one character you invest all your time into. So when I first came into WoW and RP'd, I was completely lost. I didn't know all these MRP add-ons, TRP, and people just, I don't know, I was really confused. I was pretty shy, I didn't know what to do.
All right. Well, yeah, it does sometimes take a little bit to get used to, especially if you haven't done it before. So, and we'll get into some of your tips and advice for folks later on in the interview, and get a little more into that. So when we come back, folks, we're going to talk about what Sharung is doing currently in his storyline, and we're going to talk a little bit about his MRP. And so we'll be right back with that. All right, and we're back. And so, Sharung, you use MRP, is that correct?
Yep.
Now, as we are cross-realmed, I cannot see that MRP. And again, hopefully they fix that with the expansion, because everybody's pretty much cross-realm now, and it would be nice that you'd be able to read other people's MRPs cross-realm. So, but with that said, why do you choose MRP over TRP?
I never really knew about TRP until recently, but I tried it. I just like MRP. It's a lot more simple. It's not like all these little like icons you can use. I just think it's a lot more simple. It's a lot more easier to use.
Right, and I think that's why I use MRP as well, just because I think I'm used to it. So, and so, with us not being able to see your MRP, can you kind of cover the description part of your MRP for us?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so a middle-aged Pandaren stands before you. Although Sharung is known for his love of food and his ability to eat anything, he's quite lean when compared to his other of his kind of him, or particularly unusual diet. One of the first features you might notice when you meet Sharung is how luxuriant his fur is, especially for an adventurer like himself, very similar to that of a chinchilla. Sharung's voice is deep, but it gives off a sense of comfort, as if a parent was telling their child a story. Sharung is very much a pacifist, only resorting to violence if asked to him by his elders. He'll always have his sketchbook and his satchel of herbs alongside him in his journeys, for emergency sacks, of course. It also emits an aura of fragrance that varies from mint, honey, and traditional Pandaren fried foods. As a lore walker, Sharung was given the cloud serpent named Tu as his travel companion. He can also be seen riding his turtle companion named Zune, who carries all of Sharung's notebooks and papers on his travels. Although the turtle has recently fallen ill, he's been riding a smelly, grumbly yak named Yeah.
Okay.
Just take out the K. He's pretty lazy in naming it.
All right.
He also recently just made friends with like a little dire horn while he's on in his journeys at on the Isle of Thunder. I can take him out here. Gotta watch out though. Sometimes he makes a mess of his surroundings.
Okay.
So some may find the concept of varmint of questions, like I said earlier, pretty invasive or rude. Someone called me annoying, but you know, his intentions are always honorable, because he really just wants to learn, and everything he does, he won't share with anyone else. He'll just write down his books to keep for himself. So as a member of the Lore Walkers, Sharung has a couple outfits. Usually he's seen what you're wearing right now. Sort of his traditional Lore Walker's garment with a little bit of extra leather padding for protection. Hold on. Also, he has a sort of I have a IC non-combat set. It's like this. Some of the guildies call me naked when I wear this, but I like it.
Okay.
So I'll just describe the outfits real quick for you.
Alrighty.
Okay, so this outfit, he's wearing a rope belt, and on the belt you can see like a little leaf symbol, and that's the symbol of sort of his family's heritage. He's also given a cloak that he wears. It was given to him by his teachers while he's a student, and he also just wears some simple sandals along some linen pants. And then this set, this is the one he wears the most, but like I said earlier, it's just pretty much the same thing with a little bit of extra leather padding. And then the final set is sort of a ceremonial set that he wears sort of during if you have initiation in the guild or something like that. On the shoulders you can see it's a little bird. It's actually supposed to be a phoenix, but I call it the red crane. It's the celestial that Sharung verifies most closely with. The rest of that, most of it's just leather. There's a little bit of cloth on it, but he doesn't wear this outfit much. It's pretty flimsy. He wouldn't ever wear it in combat either.
Alright, well, awesome. Well, that is great. And so, and you have quite an extensive biography as well, don't you?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Alright, and so, and we've covered a little bit about your history, Sharung's history. Now, are his parents still alive?
Yes.
Alright, and does he have any siblings?
No, his family's from Don's Blossom, but right now he's just living in Darnassus, just so that it's closer to his clan that he's studying right now.
All right. Well, excellent. All right, folks. When we come back, we're going to learn a little bit about the player behind Sharung and find out what he enjoys doing, not only in WoW, but outside the game as well. So we'll be right back with that. All right, Sharung, what can you tell us about you, the player? What do you enjoy doing outside of WoW?
So for myself, right now I'm a college student. I'm heading back in September to do my Bachelor of Fine Arts. But right now I'm doing one of the hardest things a college student can do is finding a job for the summer.
Okay.
Besides that, it's pretty hard. I don't know. I put in 20 applications in a week and like no one wants to run. Other than that, I do play a lot of games. Been playing Guild Wars 2 recently. Been playing it since launch, but I got back into it. Play a lot of strategy games, StarCraft 2, Company of Heroes.
Oh, okay. And now, do you RP in Guild Wars 2?
No, actually I run a guild in there. It's a sort of a casual leveling PvE guild, but there's a lot of cool people. I think some of them RP in WoW, but I can't remember which servers I play on.
Okay. And so, do you like movies or what's your favorite type of movie?
Probably animation. Like every night, I try to find an animated movie that I want to watch. I sort of do, not the best animations, but I do love animation on my own time. Recently, I've watched, probably the top of my head, I watched Up, Frozen, Pacific Rim, some others. What was that one from Shrek the Cat? You remember that cat's name? Puss in Boots. Yeah, Puss in Boots.
Puss in
I watched
Boots, okay.
those 4 movies recently. Yeah, wasn't the best
Now,
movie, but you know.
Now you're taking fine arts in university then?
Yeah, that's correct.
And so, what do you plan on doing with that?
Sort of visual communication, a lot of video graphics. Sort of like think of like intros for commercials or all the little different effects they have in the background. I did 2 years in a technical college for that, and then now I'm a transit student at a university. So I really want to get my degree. It's sort of something I've always wanted to do.
Oh, well, great. Turwinkle will definitely be able to use you to help him maybe get some great graphics and stuff. All right, maybe Turwinkle's got a job for you. You can stop putting out applications. We can get you set up. You could come work for Turwinkle.
I don't know about that. Can't trust Turwinkle.
Oh, whoa, hey now.
It's a little devil.
Now, other than gaming, what do you like to do? Obviously, art and that sort of thing. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually do a lot of traveling. Been to, I think, off the top of my head, been to France 3 times, Italy, a bunch of places in America. I'm from Canada, but I think for the States I've been to Hawaii. No, they all look the same, honestly.
Wow, wow, sir.
I'm sorry. And then last summer I went to Sweden to visit my family.
Wow, in Sweden.
Yep, in southern Sweden.
Wow. So, what did you do in Sweden? What'd you see?
A lot of trees. Ate a lot of baked goods. It was nice to see family I really talked to before. Although a lot of the old people didn't really know English, but it's still nice just meeting everybody.
Well, great. That is definitely, you've been to a lot more places than I certainly have, and some places that I would certainly like to go to sometime down the line. So excellent, sir. So again, the reason why we kind of get to talk to the folks about who they are is, again, we try to break those stereotypes of what the RPer is. You know, they're not all just 40-year-old guys living in mom and dad's basement eating Cheetos all day, but they're they're actual people out there doing different things and have different backgrounds with different professions that love to role play. And so it's wonderful to hear that, you know, you travel the world, you're in university, you're doing things you know, that are great, but on top of all that, you'd love to come in RP. So that's wonderful. So when we come back, we're going to find out what Sharung is up to currently in his storyline, folks. So we'll be right back with that. All right, and we are back. And so, Sharung, what are you currently doing in your storyline?
Yeah, right now, Sharung, he's aiding the guild, and the guild has this sort of idea. Sharung doesn't really believe in it, but on the Timeless Isle, the Kaldorei, I think they can sort of get back their immortality. Although, I don't know, Sharung sort of lost hope in it, but, you know, as a lore walker, he always just try his best, anything to be possible, really, but I think it's sort of died down. A lot of the members have really given up hope, but, you know, Sharung's always still looking for the answer.
Okay, yeah, especially as a lore walker, I imagine, you know, he's still open to possibilities that there's some knowledge out there that he might not be aware of. And I think that's what keeps the lore walkers going is, you know, searching for that piece of knowledge that they might not have. So that is excellent. And is Sharung in any relationship in-game?
Nope.
You said that quickly, sir.
Hey, I got a couple friends, but I mean, Sharung doesn't roll that way.
Okay, all right. So Sharung is not interested in that. He's solely focused on work. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's a man of his job.
Okay. All right. Well, excellent. That sounds actually like a fascinating RP and something that is really interesting. And I would be curious to see how that turns out, because we all know that Bao he definitely wants to live forever, even if sometimes it's in his own mind. So I could see,
crazy.
Yeah, I could see him wanting to live forever, sir. So he will probably keep the guild looking for possible ways to keep him immortal, as it were. So
we're his slaves. He gotta save us, Turwinkle.
All right, folks. When we come back, we're gonna get some tips and possibly some tricks from Sharung for the new RPers out there, and get some advice on what they can do to help them get started learning how to RP and to keep RP exciting. So we'll be right back with those tips in a moment. All right, we're back. And so, Sharung, what advice would you give to someone that sees this episode and they go, man, you know, that's something I want to do. I want to do a Pandaren RP. I really like the concept. I like what he's doing. How do I get started? So what advice would you give to those new RPers out there?
I think sometimes in the guild I get asked this question a lot of new RPers. And I say the biggest problems I see with new RPers is that they have trouble like striking up conversations with other players. And you really just tell them, like, sure, you gotta know your lore, but like just learn enough so you aren't going around saying you're like the son of Arthas who has the twin blades of Azeroth going around. But you know, just like stay within your limit. But like, just pretend you're an actor, and if you're too shy to talk to people, just do something through emotes like /nod or /wave or stuff like that. Sort of work yourself up and become more closer to the people you're role playing with.
Okay, so what you're saying then is don't be afraid, but do some walk-ups, do some randoms, and just kind of get your feet wet a little bit. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, how important do you think joining an RP guild is for a new RPer?
It helps you sort of get, like, you always have something to go to, always have an RP to go to, and you always have people that you're gonna know. But sort of what I've found, especially on this server, is a lot of people that you see over and over, even from different guilds, and you know, I doubt they care, like, oh, you're in this guild, I can't RP with you. Like, especially when I joined this guild, I wasn't in a guild, I just tagged along in the RPs for a couple of weeks, and it's the same thing as now. Like, this is a lot of fun. You just got to get out there and just do as much as you can.
All right. Well, that is great advice, because again, like you said, you'll be in an area, and especially if you like the certain area, like Darnassus or Stormwind or Orgrimmar or Silvermoon, and a lot of times you'll run into, like you said, into those same people. They may not be all in the same guild, but you'll notice that those same people like to tend to hang out in a certain area, and so you can integrate yourself with those folks and kind of work your way through with your own RP, and kind of work your way into whatever RP storyline they're into as well. So that is excellent advice, sir. All right, folks. With that, we are going to come back and we're going to give some final thoughts from Sharung. So we'll be right back with that. All right, folks, and so we're at the part of the interview where, again, we are going to allow Sharung to add anything that he would like to add that we might have missed during the interview. So, Sharung, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, so I just want to say, if everyone's on Emerald Dream, Shrung's always looking for new people, new apprentices to help him on his journeys. You don't have to be in Order of Kaldorei, except any race on like those fascist Kaldorei. But if you wanna join the RP, just let me know. Sharung on Emerald Dream.
All right, there you go, folks. Again, if you have a character that you would like to come and RP with Sharung, he's got the invitation there for you. And so do come and RP with Sharung. He's great. He's got a really solid foundation with his RP, and he's a lot of fun to RP with. Turwinkle has done so on several occasions, and I've enjoyed it each and every time. So, folks, when we come back, we will be giving our goodbyes and our thanks to Sharung. So we'll be right back with that. All right, and we are back. And so, Sharung, it has been a lot of fun learning all about your RP. So I really appreciate the time that you took to sit down and talk with us tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
And with that, folks, we are going to head back to Chilwyn Camp and give our final thoughts on this wonderful, wonderful RPer and RP of Sharung. So we will see you folks back at Chilwyn Camp.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty, folks. Well, we made it safe and sound back to Chilwyn Camp. And boy, Turwinkle, that was a lot of fun with Sharung tonight, wasn't it?
Sure.
You bet. We had a great time, so let's give him a nice thank you, sir.
I am in your debt.
We certainly are. And so, folks, if you like this episode, click that like button. If you'd like to comment on this episode or on any of our previous episodes, please do so below. Let us know what you liked and what you didn't. And finally, if you'd like to subscribe, well, we would love to have you. So hit that subscription button today. Well, excellent job as always, Turwinkle. And Turwinkle, we will see you next time, sir.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Turwinkle. Bye-bye.